I'm a bad mood, gotta keep it tight. Hold my baby squid, keep him out of sight. Talking about my life, government, stay away. Watch me drive, I'ma do it my own way. Squid in the ocean, swimming all alone. Ain't nobody telling me where to go. Living free, gotta stay true to myself. No need for interference from anyone else. Squid pro quo, that's the way to be. Living on my terms, setting myself free. Mama to my baby, protecting with my no government intrusion. I control my life.
Hey everybody, it's Squid. Welcome back to the channel. How's everybody doing today? It is crazy. Sorry, I'm running a bit behind today. It's been a crazy busy day. I currently have 2 loads of laundry that are strewn about the living room sofa that are in desperate need of being folded. I did not, had to push back the stream a little bit because in all of the stuff I was doing this morning, eating was I forgot to eat. And I was like, if I don't eat, I'm going to get nauseous or super hungry in the middle of this stream. And neither one of which sounds like a fun time. So I had to make lunch, and obviously had to make lunch for the little and then get the little cleaned up because we're 3 and we make messes. And now when we make a mess, we go big or go home. Hope everybody is doing well. Let's get the show on the road. But Hung Hero, thank you for the 20 gifted Squid Pro memberships. I appreciate you so much. And Hung Hero, thank you for the $5 super chat. Congrats, Duncan, Idaho, and Mrs. Idaho. When is the little one due? Oh, yes. For those of you who were not here yesterday for our stream, Duncan, Idaho is expecting. Well, he's not expecting, biology. His better half is expecting. So, everybody, if you see him, say congratulations. Give him well wishes for him and his better half on their little bundle of joy that I'm assuming will be here sometime next year. Greening up the chat per usual. Yes. And Amos girl, how are you? Looking green. You look good in green. Hello, Hung Hero, and thank you. Gail, how are you? And Timothy, thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. It is always appreciated. And Paul and Timothy with the 5 gifted memberships, helping to churn the chat green. And Timothy, and also $5 for the super chat for the Pacer Fund. Thank you. You're welcome. I made Starbucks money last week. Oh, we love Starbucks money. And this is the first day I've had off, so I'm sharing the wealth. When we make Starbucks money, it's always nice. It's always nice when we make Starbucks money. Sorry, I'm pulling out my chair here. And Roy, good morning. Nick, good morning. Yeah, pushback. My original time for the stream said noon your time. It was supposed to be noon my time. And then it ended up being 12:20 something. But we had internet issues last night, and I reset my computer. And when I reset my computer, I closed my Chrome. And everybody knows that when you close Chrome, and it closes because your computer had issues, it does not necessarily work out the way it was supposed to. And I can no longer find all those documents that I had up. So I'm having to do a little investigation going back to last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever we did this. We did This was the video. This was, let's see here. July 14th was the first time we talked about this. So, case overview. Oh, July 7th was the first time we talked about this. But July 14th was the last time. So I'm having to go back in my history and search. So July 14th. I'm really hoping that I actually didn't clean up my computer between now and then. Because usually once a week I, clear cache and do all the, normal computer maintenance. And I'm really hoping that I did not do that. Because I kind of need all those, I need that site right now. Department of Justice. And starting tomorrow, you get 6 days in a row driving 80 miles round trip for 3 of wife's chemo and Gravik shots. Good luck. Drive safe. Oh. Everyone I watched last night had issues with internet. This morning I was watching the, just a little while ago, I was watching the Georgia versus Caratos or Corrado, whatever. It's a former JAG officer accused of unaliving his wife so he didn't have to pay a divorce settlement, which is strangely not too far from here. But all of a sudden, their voices were cracking and their voices were skipping. And I'm like, oh no, I'm having internet issues. It was them, not me, because I clicked on another video and it was fine. I'm like, y'all, they scared me for a second thinking that I was the problem. And I'm like, for once, it was them, not me. Like, so court or Law and Crime was having internet issues with or whoever was doing the pool feed was having internet issues. Here we go. I am going to, and I don't know why this was not bookmarked, or if I did bookmark this, it was bookmarked in a place where I don't know where it is. So I did find it. So here we are. Good thing I didn't clean up my computer. The one time when I don't clean up my computer and, empty cache and clear history and all of that stuff. I do. Well, I did have internet issues last night to the point where they're sending out a tech again because we had internet issues. It's not us. And then when I messaged them, they're like, it looks like it works from our side. And I'm like, well, my Eero devices are still red. And then they turned green, or they turned white like they're supposed to be. And it started working. And then 30 seconds later, it literally turned red again. And I'm like, I literally told this person, I was like, I have never been more unhappy with an internet service provider. I was like, if you weren't the only other people besides Starlink that I could get out here, and Frontier, but Frontier does not get the speeds that I need. Like, no offense to Frontier internet, but you're like, you don't get the speeds I need. So, and hey, Barbara, how are you? They're working on the cell tower that is 2 miles from the house. Next closest tower is 15. I barely have a signal. Yeah, they're starting to do construction in this neighborhood. And it seems like they keep hitting and breaking shit. I'm just... Good afternoon. Good. Sorry, I'm late. Just a run to Meyer. Thanks once again for rubbing it in. If you didn't know, 3 Awesome Dogs lives in Michigan and in an area where they have Meyers. And when I was in Wisconsin, Meyers had made the jump across the Lake Michigan to Wisconsin. And Meyers is the best store ever invented besides Quick Trip. It's like Walmart, but clean. And Target, but cheaper. and it's perfect. And we don't have them in Georgia, and I'm sad. So every time that he sees me, I don't think he does it on purpose, but he does it on purpose. And he says that, oh, yeah, I just went to Meyer. But Three Awesome Dogs is 21 away from hitting 1,000. Oh, and Spawn hit 700 last night. So I redirected to Spawn yesterday because it was him and my pretty. And like their stream went off the rails yesterday. It was so much fun listening to them. But he hit 700 and he is still at 700. So YouTube didn't decide to be an asshole and take away one or two like they normally do when you hit a milestone of a round number. They usually screw you over and take, one or two, or you get the one or two people who just subscribe so they can chat and then they unsubscribe after. He's still at 700. So we need to get everybody above 1,000 because we need to share the wealth here. No, you're fine. We haven't gotten started yet because it's the obligatory 10, 15 minutes of BS. One, I closed my my Chrome and I lost my tab and couldn't find where I bookmarked it. Secondly, a lot of people are streaming right now. So it's kind of like, this is going to be one of those, I think your redirect pushed him over. Well, I just like people to see when he does streams like that because everybody hears when he's like gaming, and not everybody's a gamer. Like I love him like family, but at the same time, like I'm not a gamer, so those streams kind of don't hold my interest because I'm just not a gamer. But when he and my pretty are talking, they have such a good dynamic, and like and even when stuff goes off the rails, it goes off the rails in the best way possible. And you get to see a side of Spawn's personality that like people don't know exists when you just hear him talk about facts and this and that and stuff like that. And also because of certain things that have been said around the internet on various platforms, there are things that people think he is something that he's not, which sucks. But it's like the best way to prove that he's not what people have a first impression of is to just, is to show people that, see, he's not what you've been told by someone who doesn't like him. Because when someone doesn't like you and they talk to other people about you, they're only going to say the negative things. They're not going to actually give they're not going to say what your real personality is. And a lot of the times they don't know what your real personality is. I've literally talked to Spawn, like Sunday, he and my mom had like a 45-minute conversation without me. It was my phone, but she took my phone and they were just talking and chit-chatting, and I was doing housework. I wasn't involved in a conversation. I don't know what they talked about. Yeah, the Morris Minor thing was freaking hilarious. Like, I literally spit out my water when I said it tipped over. Like, I literally spit out my water at one point. So, all right. Yeah, very true. I'm all for finding things out for yourself and not taking other people's words for it, because other people put their own spin on things, whether it's someone like I follow let's say Brandon Tatum, for example. I follow him, but I don't follow him like the gospel. And just because he says something and he likes something or he thinks something is appropriate or not appropriate, I don't take his word for it. I take his opinion. Take his opinion, and his opinion matters, but his opinion is not like my bread and butter. Like when I watch his videos, like Jumpsuit Pablo, love his videos too. Has some very good insight as an ex-con on certain aspects of the justice system and what these court cases like Brian Koberger. Oh yeah, by the way, just in case you didn't know, Brian Koberger, Jumpsuit Pablo has, and I posted the link to the video in my community page. Jumpsuit Pablo has a contact in the same cell block as Brian Koberger. Well, guess who else is in the same cell block and has basically adjacent cells? Like if you're sticking your face to the window and you look, you can see somebody else's cell, Chad Daybell. They are literally in the same cell block. Why Idaho decided to do that, I don't know. But, you know. Hey, Tammy, how did Baby Squid enjoy her birthday? Does she enjoy the magnet blocks? Oh, yes. She is obsessed every day, building a house, building a house, building a house every day. So she loved them. Thank you so much. All right. So these are all the federal cases. We kind of got into some of them yesterday. And these are all the documents that the government is giving us for free. Don't on here. I'm not reading that out loud because we have Duncan, right? A beloved member and mod on this channel as well. And I'm just not going to say that. But the state of Idaho putting Brian Koberger and Chad Daybell in the same cell block. And they're talking. They're talking. For more details on that and what they're supposedly saying back and forth, see my community page. I put a link to Jumpsuit Pablo's videos or video on the topic. I can't speak on that, but these are all the federal cases, and these are all the things, the documents that the government is giving us for free. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But today we are going to talk about some of the state cases. So a lot of them are from California, and we're going to mention a couple from California, but these ones, California is not really forthcoming with their documents. Thank you, Roy. Yeah, I love listening to Spawn. It's hilarious. And Spawn and I get into tits and tat, go tit for tat sometimes with the insults and stuff like that. And sometimes we get into disagreements, but we're like adults. We go, okay, we'll talk again soon when we both don't have an attitude. Y'all crack me up. Just read. Oh, all right. Oh my goodness, you guys crack me up. I love this chat. All right, we are going to get into, and these ones I don't know. There's a couple that I wrote down, but I don't think I wrote any from California because of the fact that they're very hard to follow, and California is not very forthcoming with, documents. So we are going to read a couple of these, and I'll be sure I'll actually show you guys this time. This one is State of California and County of San Diego. Felony complaint versus Roxanne Taylor. Roxanne Taylor. Count 1, Med-Cal fraud. Just in case you didn't know, Medi-Cal is the California version of Medicaid. Every state calls it something different. In Wisconsin, it's Badger Care. In Georgia, it's Peach Care. Those are the only two states that I really have a lot of familiarity with because I lived there. But Welfare and Institutions Code Section 141.07. So this is basically Medicaid fraud. So when people say Medicaid fraud doesn't exist, it does. I did get into a Facebook debate with somebody the other day because they were like, well, it's from the providers. It's not a, that doesn't matter. Fraud is fraud. It doesn't matter who it's from. Yes, I believe it's a little more egregious when it's from the provider side, because the provider, as a provider, you're held to a higher standard, or you should be held to a higher standard as a doctor, nurse, pharmacist, therapist, anything. You are held to a higher standard. People think higher of you because of the field you work in. Almost like how lawyers are supposed to be held to a higher standard. Same thing with here. And these, we're just going to kind of go over these quick. If I see something that doesn't need to be read, like code numbers, we're going to skip it. From on or about May 14th, 2021 to October 2023, defendant Ray Roxanne Taylor did unlawfully obtain by means of false or fraudulent pretenses, representations, or promises of the money and property owned by or under the custody of control of Medi-Cal program in connection with the delivery or payment for healthcare benefits, services, goods, supplies, or merchandise, to wit, IHSS services fraudulently billed and not rendered. That seems to be a common thing. It seems to be a very common thing if you're phrasing this correctly. I would say if you look at 10 different people who have committed fraud, 9 of them are going to have billing fraud, because billing fraud is as simple as you were only with the patient for 50 minutes, but you billed for 53, because that is the difference between 50 minutes is 3 units. 53 minutes is 4 units. There's an extra unit billed. It seems like only 3 minutes, but there's an extra unit. So that is when, like, if I was treating them, because I had that where the patient only wants to work with you for like so long, we got like 7 minutes to bill. So we had to make sure we were in there for 53 minutes, and then 60 minutes. If we were in there for 53, we could cut the stream or the session short, and I could use that 7 minutes to document. However, I was still seeing them or doing something in relation to their care. So that would be, okay, we're going to cut our session down to 45 minutes, but I'm going to spend 10 minutes making you a, home exercise program. And I'm going to go on the computer and I'm going to download the exercises, and I'm going to make your PDF that we're going to go over next time. So that's still patient care, but I'd have to bill it as something different. So I would bill like, I couldn't bill that as hands-on. I would have to bill that as like, I can't remember the exact code that I would bill it as, but it wouldn't be hands-on. It would be like their X, but it would be a preparatory activity. It wouldn't be actual patient care. So, yep. And that's one of the things that you have to watch. But if I had a patient who was like, I don't want to work with you anymore, I can't force that person to work with me. And I know that they need 60 minutes of therapy today. So I would have to come up with something. Okay, I'm going to spend this extra time doing this. And then I would tell them the exercises that we're going to do. And I would sit either on the computer in front of them. So like, okay, you don't have to work with me, but I'm still going to be here in front of you talking to you about this. You got to do what you got to do to get like that time in. But to not get that time in, if they said get out of my room and I didn't have anything else to do in relation to their patient care, I didn't have an insurance company to call, I didn't have medical, I didn't have any equipment to order, DME to order, I would have to bill it for 3 units and take the hit. And then they would have to be seen by someone either later that day to make up that 15 minutes, or they'd have to be seen on the weekends to get all their time according to what Medicare needed for inpatient rehab to be seen. If I was on acute care and they said, here's your 20 minutes, you only wanted 20 minutes, and then I have my 5 minutes of documentation, and 25 minutes is all I can bill for. Like if I wanted to, I could not bill 3 units when I only saw them for 2 units. That would be fraud. And it happens more often than you would think. A lot of people try their best to okay, I need to look up DME for you. I have to look in a catalog, so it's going to take me some time. Okay, that's billable because it's skilled work. It's not something that I can tell a CNA or a rehab aide to go, hey, look up DME for the patient in this room. It's no, that's where my education comes in as to what specific things people need for their specific issues and their current level of functioning. That's where my education would come in. So it's skilled, and I can justify why I had to do it instead of a rehab aide. So, but getting back to our original point, since I just went on a medical tangent, see, proving that I do actually have an education in this shit, and I just don't tell you that I went to school for it, and But if you look up, I would say 90% of the people who are ever charged with fraud, billing fraud is going to be right there because it's the easiest to do. And sometimes people don't even do it on purpose. You lose track of time and you're like, oh yeah, I was in there for an hour. And then you weren't. So, and if you can't justify the time, it's technically fraud. It happens more often than you think. Did your pad die? Yeah, I told you it was going to. Thank you for your patience.
No.
You don't want to come up here? Oh, your pad's going to die again. I plugged it in and she immediately unplugged it. So give her 2 or 3 minutes before her pad dies again. Because, that's just what we do around here. We still haven't made the connection that you don't just plug it in and it's instantly charged. Toddler brain hasn't made the link. All right, count 2. And hey, Malin, how are you? Good evening, Squid, baby Squid, mods and chat. I don't miss working with Medicaid, Medicare. At the point, person would come in, scratch her door. If your therapy was already 7.5 minutes, patient had mobility issues and only got 3 minutes. Yeah, that's another thing. Sometimes, PT mostly had the rehab aides. When we had a full gym and a full gamut of patients, the rehab aides would bring PT's patients to the gym. A lot of the times they would not bring OTs because, OT is not as important apparently. However, I would go to my patient's room and I would transfer them and I would try to okay, we're going to make this functional so that I can bill with time. Because of me just waiting for them to get my patients, I would sometimes be waiting for 10 minutes into our session for my patients to get to the gym. It's sometimes it's just easier if I were to go get them. Because 1, we can work on more mobility stuff. Sometimes with the cognition, I would sequencing a transfer is not the transfer is not the hard part. It's the person being able to figure out how to stand up is sometimes the hard part. The brain forgets how to stand. The body has the physical strength. The brain just can't lean forward, stand up. your brain all of a sudden wants to do this and go straight up. And it's like, you can't push straight up. Physics don't work. So I would go to their room and either have them walk to the gym or transfer to the chair. And I would have them push themselves to the gym or the ADL apartment or wherever we were going. Because if you only have a half-hour session and I'm waiting 10 minutes for rehab aides to bring my patient to the gym, I'm never going to get anything done. You adapt and overcome. Yeah, Scoot, I saw your show from yesterday, and all I can say is, holy mother gosh. Oh my God, money is money is the root of all evil. But getting back to this, count 2 is grand theft. From 2021 to 2023, she did knowingly and designatedly by false and fraudulent representation and pretense obtain money, labor, real and personal property by fraud. Specifically, money is received by fraudulently billed IHSS, services not rendered in violation of that code, factors in aggravation. As to counts 1 and 2, it's further alleged, pursuant to Penal Code Section 1170, that the victim, Alan K., was particularly vulnerable within the meaning of California Rules of Court 4.421A3. I don't know what that means, as I am not I'm not a lawyer, and I'm don't live in California. However, if you're talking about a victim being a Medicaid patient and a vulnerable Medicaid patient, one can assume that would either be physically disabled, cognitively disabled, homebound, something that he is unable to care for himself, and you most likely elderly, just from my background, what I would assume that is. I don't know. Oh yes, true. That's not a problem. Not living in California, it's a blessing. Yeah, I can't argue with that. However, patient condition, and I can only imagine. And then you're billing that he received services that he didn't, which would most likely, to me, indicate home therapy, nursing services, home health worker, which would be helping him cook, clean, bathe. So now you're not only, this is where one of the things why I feel like the healthcare professional committing fraud and Medicaid and Medicare fraud is a little bit more egregious than your off the street, random person. Although that's not good either. I'm not making excuses for anybody. But when a healthcare professional is doing it, you are affecting not only your life, but you are affecting the lives of another person. And when you are committing this fraud, what services are you withholding that you are lying about? And it just makes my heart hurt and gets a level of agitation that I just can't express to y'all on YouTube and stay monetized. It's where my petty side will come out and also my evil side. All right. As to counts 1 and 2, it's further alleged that the manner in which this crime was committed involved actual taking of great monetary value within the meaning of the court. As to counts 1 and 2, it's further alleged that she took advantage of a position of trust or confidence to commit the offense. That's another problem that I have. It's further alleged that she stole from the public by submitting fraudulent claims and receiving money from the Medi-Cal program. And that's where, which should be a factor in aggravation that reasonably relates to the defendant or the circumstances under which the crime was committed. This one right here is where she costs everybody money. Think about when you're lied to all the time. Are you going to believe someone when they talk to you, or are you going to think that they're lying? You're probably going to think that someone is lying to you just because you're lied to all the time. It makes getting treatment harder. It makes treatment more expensive because now I'm using California as an example, not a good example, but just because it's the one we're currently using. If someone bills $10,000, and these numbers are hypothetical, I'm exaggerating for the purpose of making a point. Do you want, I will email you a link right now. But say while I'm emailing Living Life and a link, I will kind of still talk about what the point I was making. If, say you bill for $10,000 worth of services and you're only utilizing $1,000 worth of services, that's $9,000 that could have gone to somebody else. That's now $9,000 of taxpayer money that could have gone to other patients. Now, people in government, California really doesn't care, so they're a bad example. But when you want to talk about, people and abusing the system, and now you're like, and now you're like, I can't trust that people are telling me the truth. This is how much you're supposedly spending, but you're only covering, 100 patients, but you're spending $1 million. That the numbers based on the costs of services and what Medicaid is supposed to be paying do not add up. And I think that's the missing link when the general public, sees Medicaid fraud and sees this and this and this, and these services are being cut, you have to look a little deeper into, this is the information we're not getting, is how much is that supposed to cost? If a service is supposed to cost $50 an hour, the Medicaid is ended up paying $200 to $300 an hour based on fraud and what either a person is billing or a person is claiming they need and they don't. It's not just about cutting services. We don't want to ever cut services to people. We want to cut the wasted services. When someone says they need 40 hours of therapy a week, it's like, no, you probably need like 10. Based on your current level, you probably need 10. Do you need a home health aide? Like, people will take advantage of Medicaid paying for all these because Medicaid in Wisconsin at least paid for a lot of DME. So toilet risers, walkers, sock aids, reachers. But you know how many people would get these? I would give them to them from Medicaid, and then they would sell them because they didn't actually need them, but they requested them, and you can't turn down a request. So I'm not saying it's fraud, but yeah, it's very nuanced, Malin. And one, I know you're not American, so your system is vastly different than ours, so that's one issue. But like, I saw patient fraud with my own eyes. Like, patients that could get stuff that they didn't actually need and then would turn around and sell it. That shit would be on Facebook Marketplace. And it's one thing, like I sold my walker. I got a walker from the VA after surgery. I needed it for 3 to 4 weeks. Well, once you get a walker, the VA doesn't take it back. I sold mine in a yard sale for like $20. I don't need a walker anymore. I needed a walker after surgery because I had brain surgery. My balance was shit. I couldn't even use a cane because I couldn't sequence how to use a cane. My brain couldn't figure out how to use a cane. But I couldn't walk without a cane, without holding on to something. So the VA gave me a walker. I needed it for a little while, but being in my early 30s, well, okay, being 35 at the time, I did not need a walker full time, and it was going to take up space. There's a difference between using it when you have to and not even needing it, but being able to claim it because somebody else is paying for it. And coming to this stage right now, living life with FND. How are you, my dear?
Hi. It's been a while.
I know. How are you?
I'm good. Tired as always, but that's life with FND.
I did work out this morning, so I am like, but I'm like, I could take a nap right now if I needed to.
Yeah.
Or if I wanted, or if I could. If I could take a nap, I could take a nap.
I'll take a nap for you later.
I experienced what I believe was fraud last surgery. The surgeon prescribed a lumbar brace for multiple fusion support. A third party with wheelchair sent me a cheap, non-supportive brace. That wasn't that to me. That's not fraud. That's just your insurance wanting to
be cheap.
Yeah, that's your insurance wanting to be cheap. And a lot of the times, what your doctor wants you to have and what insurance will pay for are also two different things. It's why I hate insurance, because you have people with business degrees making decisions about people's health care. When a doctor says, my patient needs this medication, the case manager will go to the insurance company. Case manager is generally a nurse. Will go to the insurance company and say, this is what the doctor wants. And the patient's insurance company will be like, we're not covering that. Or their deductible is $1,300 a month.
Okay.
And now you have to go back to the doctor and be like, well, I know you wanted to put them on, this heart medication, but you were going to have to find out something different. And then the doctor's like, well, that's the best medication for them.
And then it's also hours and hours on the phone talking to these people in insurance.
Yeah. And Ammo's girl has it right. Yeah, my son has CP. Fighting with insurance is always lovely.
Yep, I know that.
And that's where when I was in rehab or like inpatient rehab, because there was two different things. Like when I was in acute care, my whole goal with the therapy in acute care was to figure out a safe discharge plan. Like, are they safe to go home, back to their old way of living? Do they need to go to rehab? Do they need to go to subacute? Where's a safe thing for them?
And it's like vice versa with me. I'm like, oh, you need to go to PT. You need to go to occupational therapy because sometimes it's out of my scope. Or you need more, therapy, beyond I can offer, because most of mine is like relaxation, not so much the neuromuscular re-education, whereas I want to send you to like, Squid and do that neuromuscular re-education.
Yeah.
And two, I don't have a lot of the equipment that UPT OTs have. So you know,
Sorry, she just turned on her music, and before I got copyright struck, I had to mute myself and make sure she turned the volume down because she started to listen to Kane Brown, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's not going to get me copyright struck at all.
oh,
But the two sides of the coin in the same hospital, because every year we would have the opportunity to switch floors, and you would sometimes I started on inpatient rehab, and that was where I loved, but I would switch back, and sometimes I had a schedule where in the same week I floated 2 days a week to acute care, and 3 days a week I was on inpatient rehab. Inpatient rehab, I had to write my notes like my life depended on it, and my patients' lives depended on it for insurance companies, because like on acute care, it was like you're writing it for their discharge. So if you want them to go to inpatient rehab, you kind of write it a little bit more for, they need this intensive therapy. But on acute care or on rehab, if you don't write every note like your life depends on it, your patient's going to be discharged next week. Because when the social work asks for a 6-week stay, and insurance is like, why do they need 6 weeks? Send me the notes. And your note is not up to par of why they need you for 6 weeks.
so how many pages of notes? I'm always curious about that.
My notes were
Like
my mentor when I first started there, she gave me advice, and her words were, so what? Whenever you write a note, you write it, so what? Like when someone looks at this note, they're going to go, so what? They don't need to know the activity that you're doing. And this is why when I talk to people sometimes, like when I talk to my mom and she starts telling me a story about work, I'm like, not important, move on. Like she'll start telling me like details and I'm like, not important. Like move on, because you don't need to know what activity. I don't need to know how the patient liked it. Like that's why when I read these legal documents, sometimes I'm like, that is not an important detail. Like I am a who, what, when, where, why, and how much.
Yeah.
Patient did this, you don't need to know what activity, but you need to know what they did. Standing, reaching, working on dynamic balance in prep for reaching to floor to feed animals, working on standing balance to in an effort to self-bathe due to not having a supportive, family at home, or, living alone and needing to be independent with bathing, having to step over the tub. Like patient was able to tolerate 2 minutes in stance versus my last note that says patient able to stand, 1 minute, 15 seconds with min support, from like min right side support from Ryder and 1 upper extremity support. Like I compartmentalize this in prep for this activity.
Yeah.
So when I get some of these documents that are like talking about like, oh, they didn't like this or they did that, who the fuck cares?
I know.
I don't need, we're not writing a novel here.
So I've done, injury cases too, and on average, I think like one therapy session was like 16 to 22 pages long, because an hour session, we have to know everything apparently of BS.
And there's a difference between like a treatment note and an initial eval.
Yeah.
I was only an assistant, so I did. It's very, in the therapy world, it's very, I am not like an assistant, like a legal assistant, or like, even a legal assistant. I am not like an assistant, like a secretary. I'm not like your personal assistant where I follow you around. I just do the treatments. The therapist, OT, PT, does the initial eval, and they'll do treatments too. But I am only treatments. Like I do treatments. My whole goal is to progress. And then there are patient rules on like inpatient rehab. I didn't need like a cosign every so often. I think once a week I had to have an OT see my patients, but my job share partner was an OT. So she worked weekends. She worked Friday through Monday. I worked Tuesday through Saturday. So like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I would see all our patients on rehab. And then Friday, Saturday, I would be on acute care while she saw our patients on inpatient rehab. So there would always be an OT. So for me, that was never an issue. So it was interesting how different. And then subacute, like a progress note has to be written for like part B, or if, I forget all the intricacies of Medicare and Medicaid.
Yeah.
And because I never worked, I did a level 2. So I worked 40 hours a week for 8 weeks in a subacute rehab, but my only job was at a hospital in inpatient rehab. So that was back in 2014. The spring of 2014 was when I my last true having to write Medicare and Medicaid notes for actual, like, my insurance. The rest of that stuff was inpatient rehab. It was handled by our social workers a lot better than the therapists themselves.
Yeah.
And pretty much Medicaid or Medicare or Medicaid didn't have a set schedule for like inpatient rehab because they were getting so much therapy. They didn't have the whole like 700 minutes and a week, like got paid this much. And then you have the fraud of like people in rehab departments wanting to get paid so much. So they're putting patients on a 700 minute per week schedule when the patient can only tolerate probably like 300.
Yeah.
And it's like, but they get body in bed, need most money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and hey, Rainbow Pickle, how are you? All right. Getting back to these documents. This right here is what gets me the most upset in this. Everything about this gets me upset, but like this part gets me upset in the grand scheme of costs and like how a non-skilled politician looks at stuff and goes, why are you spending so much money? It's this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is why everybody's healthcare is so damn expensive. Because when someone is frauding the system and charging $1,000 for when they only needed to bill for $300 and pocketing that extra money, everybody's prices goes up. I don't know.
Yep.
It's like, so the first parts for the aggravating factors get me on the sense of the person that they're treating and that like vulnerable individual. The bottom part gets me on you're screwing the system as a whole. It's like each way is shady.
Pretty, yeah.
But this is the stuff where people don't think that this shit actually exists.
Oh, it does.
You have a section, and I'm not saying everybody, but you have a section of people in this country that think this system is perfect, that people need more money. And all we need is more money to fix it. It's like, no, more money equals more fraud. What you need is for people to go through and start charging the people who are doing this shit. Get these people out of the system, make sure that these people never work in the system again. And then you will actually, when someone uses $50 worth of services, you're only billing $50. And that will reduce overall costs. It's just hard to see. Because when I hear people talk and I'm like, tell me you've never worked in healthcare without telling me. Like, this is one of the reasons that I will never work in healthcare again, but I do love exposing this shit. And people are like, oh, it's state cases. It's still Medicare fraud. No. Federal is Medicare. State is Medicaid. Because Medicaid is a state program.
And I still laugh at myself, you know, in the early days when I was like, oh, you know, medical massage needs to be, you know, insurance needs to cover it. And I'm like, after years of working in Medicaid, Medicare, I'm like, this is bullshit.
Like, I don't, it's easier for people to do direct pay sometimes because it's like it might be more expensive for the patient up front, but at the same time, it's going to be less headache for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Like, I was getting medical massage, and then the VA changed how they provide medical massage in the sense of like that you have to go through this holistic health class, and like, well, they didn't tell me that until it was, oh, I only have one more massage left. And instead of my nurse practitioner being able to put in a new consult with the same person and just, re-upping my sessions because I liked the person I was going to, I had to wait 6 months to get into a class. And now my medical massage therapist is no longer, she retired. And I'm like, now I'm screwed. And I don't want to go to the other place that they could offer me because I've been there and I don't like it.
Yeah.
So this is just a non-disclosure of discovery and then a request for discovery. But what I really want to get into with these is just what people are being charged with, to show that, yes, this stuff really does happen all the time. So state of Illinois versus Kevin Lynham. We'll go with this one because this is an indictment. Oh, this is very official. Vendor fraud. Another one of those.
Selling a product and
billing for one thing and giving them another.
Yeah.
Which is what I think. Okay, going back to what Tammy had said. The where that might have been fraud is what I wasn't exactly thinking of at the time. Was did they bill her for the more expensive brace and give her the cheap one? There might be a real a thing, but let's make this a little bit bigger. Since I haven't downloaded any of these yet. We're just going through what the government gives us. But one thing I am gonna do before is I'm gonna just look at this to see if there's anything that needs to be redacted before we before I do it, so that I don't want to you know what I mean?
Yeah. How many Indiana cases are there?
I'm not sure, but the last page has the 4-person signature on it. So I'm not going to show the last page. So if you ever want to know why I'm not doing it, it doesn't have their name. It just has their signature, which is very it's very like, I would never be able to tell what this person's name is by looking at that signature, but I don't want anybody to be able to do anything with it, because you never know who might watch this stream and have more information on this particular case than me. I had a bloodborne disease and the insurance wanted me on ampicillin. I cannot remember what doctor wanted me on it, but I do remember that I had to go to the office every day for a month to get a shot. Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of the times when you need a shot for something, they won't have you take it home with you. Too easy to abuse things, and or it takes a lot of patient education to be able to self-administer medications. Too easy to screw something up, and then the doctor is liable for any too many things could go wrong with that. All right. Grand jurors chosen, selected, and sworn for Sangamon County of Illinois. I don't know where that is. Defendant committed the offense of vendor fraud, and that the defendant, through a series of acts performed in furtherance of a single intention and design to obtain property of a single owner, at least one of the acts having occurred after June 18th of 2022, and within the statute of limitations, knowingly, willfully, by means of false statements, representations, submitted false Division of Rehab Services, Home Services timesheets to the Division of Rehab Services to obtain payments under the Public Aid Code, which he was not entitled. And based on said false Home Services timesheets, the Division of Rehab Services of the Illinois Department of Human Services authorized payments appropriated by Kevin Lynham, said amount having an aggregate value of more than $10,000. That's a Class 1 felony. And here's my question, and this is one thing I haven't figured out. These were June, July of 2025 is when these cases came up. Most of the documents that I've read have been between 2021 and 2023. So if the government knew that this stuff was going on all of 2024 and didn't do anything, why didn't the Biden administration not crack down on any of these people or not file charges against any of these people until now? Why did it have to be a new administration for any of this to happen? Curiosity killed the cat, but it's all the documents that I've seen so far, nothing has happened in 2024. So did it take them this long to investigate? Or did the last administration just not do anything?
Yeah, it just seems like I've been looking at other stuff, and just seems like 21 and then 22 and then nothing. You know,
because they were probably getting kickbacks. Oh, that's a good point. I don't know. But it's just one of those things that you just look at and you're like, why does this happen? Why wait so long? And I know things are slow, but do things really take a year and a half? Or did they just start investigating these situations in January of 2025? Like January 21st of 2025 specifically. And then they're just now 6 months later coming up. But a lot of these people, like this was 2022. January 26th through December 28th of 2022. Count 2, committed the offense of theft, and that defendant, through a series of acts, we'll get that. On or occurred after June 18th of 2022 within the statute of limitations, knowingly exerted unauthorized control over governmental property of the state of Illinois, said property being United States currency, having a total value exceeding $10,000 and not exceeding $100,000, with the intent to permanently deprive the state of Illinois the use or benefit of said property. Class 1 felony. Count 3, theft. Defendant, through a series of acts performed in furtherance of a single intention and designed to obtain property of a single owner, at least one of the acts having occurred after June 18th of 2022, and within the statute of limitations, knowingly obtained by deception control over government property of the state of Illinois, said property being United States currency, having a total value exceeding $10,000 and not exceeding $100,000. In the The defendant submitted false timesheets to the Illinois Department of Human Services, causing the Illinois Department of Human Services to authorize payments to the defendant with the intent to permanently deprive the state of Illinois of the use or benefit of said property. Count 4, forgery. Home services timesheets containing false entries for times and dates of services that were not rendered, knowing the documents had thus been made. I think class 3 felony. And count 5, identity theft. Oh my goodness. Knowingly use personal identifying information or identification document of Tiona Bates to fraudulently obtain credit, money, goods, services, or other property, said property having a total value of more than $10,000 but not exceeding $100,000. Class 1 felony. Just do it. This was all discovered by the group of men that were looking into all areas of mismanaged money. That I believe. I'm just glad that, like, I can't imagine if this stuff would have never been found. Because with this being found, what do we not know about? What hasn't been found? There are people every day doing this kind of crap. Indiana. Let's see. There's a lot from Indiana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Wow.
We're just gonna do click one. Catherine Elizabeth Grimes. You're up. Oh. Marion Superior Court, Marion County. No idea where that is.
That's Indianapolis.
Okay. Like, count 1, obtaining controlled substance by fraud or deceit. Count 2, obtaining controlled substance by fraud or deceit. Same thing for count 3. Count 4, same thing. Count 5, same thing. Count 6, failure to make or keep or furnish records. Here's one, January and March of 2024. Lorazepam, Schedule 4 of the Indiana Uniform Controlled Substances Act. Count 2, Tramadol. Count 3, phenobarbital. Count 4, count 4 is buprenorphine. Buprenorphine. I think that's Buspar, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, sounds like Buspar.
Hold on. Hold that thought. I'd be right back.
Okay.
You can read the. Hold on. I forgot to share it, so we can.
You're fine.
You can. There we go. I'll let you. You read it. I'll be right back.
Okay. Count. Yay! I get to do this. Get to take over the stream. Between January 1st to March 31st, Catherine Grimes did knowingly acquire possession of controlled substance. Yeah, that's Buspar, I think. Classified in a Schedule 3 of Indiana Uniformed Controlled Substance Act, fraud, forgery. Geez. Let's see here. diazepam for that one.
Sorry, I'm back. I thought I had a pharmacology book, so I don't.
Okay. I'm not as good as you reading this stuff.
Well, I
It's
also have done it for over a year, so come here. You can have mine.
Yes, I know. I'm being hard on myself.
Yeah, you're your own worst critic. It
Yep.
happens. Oh, thank you. Kiss. I love you. You gotta sit up here though. You wanna sit up here?
Hey, baby squid.
You wanna sit up here? Okay, come here. I got you. One. Here we go. All right, let me look up what I know what diazepam is. Diazepam is a
Well,
I think diazepam is an anti-anxiety.
yeah, that's. Hang on. I have my allergy list. I was just working on this. Working on my book. Let's see here.
Diazepam is used to treat episodes of increased seizures. So it's a
Diazepam, isn't that Valium?
Valtico. Then lorazepam is lorazepam brand name is Ativan.
Ativan, yeah.
State of Indiana. Let's see. This one. Oh, okay. So I looked up that one, buprenorphine, and it says not to be confused with buspirone, which is Buspar.
Buspar.
Trade names: Berdaxi, Belbuca, Sublocade. It's a sublingual psychological dependent controlled narcotic used to come on, okay. Used to treat opioid use disorder, acute pain, and chronic pain. So it's an opioid used to treat opioid use disorder.
It's morphine with whatever else in it.
Oh, hold on. There we go. Too loud. It says the combination formula buprenorphine. This is where I would love to have my best friend on here. She's a nurse. Suboxone is usually prescribed to discourage misuse by injection. So it's part of Suboxone.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I wondered where I heard it before, but thank you, Heidi. Sold under the brand name Subutex, among others, buprenorphine. Valium is diazepam.
Yep.
It's also diazepam is also used to treat seizures, and I think that's where I've taken it. Because diazepam is there's a lot of things that aren't they're off-label use, but they work better for what their off-label use is than what their.
That's where big pharma likes to get their money, is to have like two separate confusing name brand and generic.
Yeah, and it's so it can be a muscle relaxant. It also depends on it's So it says, okay, medical uses. Hold on. Where I always used to go to a certain website for benzodiazepine used to treat anxiety disorders. So, yep. Epilepsy, 10 milligrams. It also depends on where
you're from, and
well, it also depends on what dose it is, because at different doses it's used and called different things. It's Valium brand name, but there's very few times when we actually use the brand name drug anymore.
Yeah.
So it's myasthenia gravis. Don't use see it tell you to make sure this medicine is safe for you. This is one of the things where I have a problem with big pharma and how they use and distribute drugs. Tell your doctor if you've ever had seizures, unless you're taking diazepam to treat a seizure disorder. Or depression or a mood disorder, suicidal thoughts or behavior. I get telling them if you've ever had unaliving, self-deletion thoughts or behavior, but generally this is another part where Valium gets a little funky, because usually it's used to treat anxiety disorders, but usually anxiety, depression go hand in hand and are besties, and they don't always work for people because it can make your depression worse.
Yeah.
It's like it helps your anxiety but makes your depression worse. It can. It doesn't always. That's one thing about these drugs, is depending on who you are, what doctor you've been to, what your medical history is, they could be prescribed to you for different things. So yeah. Nursing considerations or implications. And this is not medical advice. I have a background in, I worked slightly in mental health, but my professor wisely once said, you can take the phys rehab out of mental health, but you can never take the mental health out of phys rehab. So the pharmacology that we did hit hard in college was mental health pharmacology. Other than that, like, I got a lot of heart drugs because of the floors I worked on, and a lot of neurological drugs because of the floors I worked on. However, not a nurse. My best friend is a nurse, not a nurse. Yeah, Valium, depending on doctor, is used very broadly. I will never take Valium a day in my life. Never. Even if it's prescribed, I've told them I'm not going to take it. So you might as well give me something different. So.
We need to do another collab where I can talk about my...
Oh, yes. For those of you who are either catching this on the replay or are new here, we did a Pain Chronicles. I did a volume 1 back in the day. And with the intention of having her back to do a part 2 and inviting other people on the channel to talk about their issues. But one of the people that I was going to talk about her long-term medical issues is blocked from this channel. So she'll never be on this channel. She's not even allowed in chat, let alone on this channel. So, like, I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
And then the count 6 is recklessly, knowingly, or intentionally fail to keep or furnish records or information as required. Well, here's the thing. Count 6, I would assume it'd be implied with a lot of people, because if you're obtaining these or distributing them unlawfully, you're not going to keep records, because why would you keep records on your fraud or your lying or your controlled substance use if you're using them for yourself, or your distribution, illegal distribution, and your drug trafficking.
Or your addiction.
Yes. Here's your YouTube is asshat disclaimer. All content is opinion-based for educational and entertainment purposes. Opinions expressed are not medical, legal, or political advice, nor to sell products. And I do have thank you, Heidi. You're amazing. And I need to
You need to put a little stream thing.
well, yeah, I need to make a video. I'm working on making extra
Little ticker.
Well, I have a video for when I'm talking about people, i.e. what the hails of this is not, do not mention anybody, or, this is the creator's own personal opinion, like don't contact anybody.
Oh.
However, I need to do that I need to make another one for broad base.
Yeah.
But here we whoop. Oh, I almost did something bad. I almost did something really bad. When you're clicking on people's names in the chat in YouTube Studio?
Yeah.
How all the way at the bottom is a choice?
Yeah.
Heidi, make another comment. Well, right above that one option is blocking them from the channel. And I was like, oh shit, don't want to do that. Oh my goodness.
I've probably done that 1 or 2 times. So sorry to
Oh my god, I did that to Jeffrey the other day in Mo's stream. I dropped my phone, and when I picked it up, or like when I was trying to like do this, I hit, and all of a sudden I see Jeffrey Montgomery's comment was deleted, and Jeffrey Montgomery hidden by Squid Pro Quo, and I'm like, oh shit. Luckily, JKD Buck fixed my problem, but I was like, oh my god, I did it again. So sometimes I'm just watching from my phone. Like, I can't mod a lot from my phone, but like sometimes you just want to watch people. But when you're a mod, you have that power, whether you're just watching or you're trying to be super mod that day. And sometimes that is taken so out of like that's a mistake.
Yeah.
All right. And Spawn Trooper, welcome to the show. Walks in with hands on hips, stands proud, looks around, walks away. Such a dude. Such a dude. Such a dude.
Oh my goodness.
And no worry, Heidi. I know you are super mod for some other people. I see you in Discord all the time. Being super mod for a couple of people. It's just one of those things of like, you've helped me out so much. And especially when you're in here and you do things that you don't have to do just to help me out. It's more of an appreciative, like, I don't expect, and that's the thing. Like, I know my mods mod for other people. I know my mods have lives. I know my mods have a lot of shit going on in 3D world. Like, I don't hold anything against people here when they can't be here. Somebody finally stopped apologizing to me when they can't be in my stream. Finally. It only took a year. I finally got them to stop apologizing. I know you weren't looking for it, and that's okay. And that's generally when I feel like I need more mods. It's the people who aren't looking for it and deserve it and have helped me out, because that's, at the end of the day, my mods are there to help me out. So, it's kind of you helped me out when you don't have to. So it's Yeah, and I know you're super mod for other people, and that's like everybody needs a super mod. Like everybody needs a super mod. I hit the like and shared. Did you? And these aren't my most popular streams either. I know they're not. They're not the most popular streams. It is what it is, but they're the most important in my view. Talking about this and letting people know that this shit really exists is much more important. And coming to the show, the Grinch himself.
And this is your,
Oh, and then he coughs.
this is your interest. So you do what you like to do and go for it.
Hi, Spawn Trooper.
Hello.
Oh goodness.
I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing. You
Why are you
walk in
laughing?
proudly, stand in the middle of the room and fart.
Yeah,
Then walk
such a
away
dude.
Proudly.
Uncle Spawn's
with my
here.
chest out.
You're stuck. Y'all are crazy. Anyway, getting back to the point. And hey, Taz, how are you?
I've got a question. Hello, by the way.
Whoop.
I'm good. What was the differences in the? I've noticed colors behind the moderators. There's yellow, green, and all that. What does that mean?
Huh? What do you mean colors behind the moderators?
Behind each one. Oh no, ignore, disregard.
Okay. Sometimes
Excuse me a
some of
second.
them-
I just need to cough my lungs up.
Okay. Sometimes some of the mods are members too, so there's a symbol by their name because they're moderators. So, and that that little star is sometimes how long they've been a member if they're a member. So, oh, he means the stars you have set up for members. Okay, yeah, just me on a different device.
But hello.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing.
All right. So this is what we just talked about. We are going through these. Oh, these were the ones that I wanted to go through. There was a couple from Louisiana that I wanted to go through because I thought they were particularly egregious the way they were worded.
And what's this regarding?
These are medical fraud cases that were discovered in 2025. This is the Department of Justice has all these documents made public. And these are all the state cases. We went through some of the federal cases yesterday. If you want to go, that's all the federal cases. I mean, that's a lot of
an interesting one last night. And then I found that case, what I sent you this afternoon or this morning. I don't even know what. Oh, right. This morning I sent you a link.
Yeah.
That is a very, very, very interesting case.
Yeah, I had seen that. I just hadn't. I just hadn't watched the whole thing because there's so much going on right now. It's like there's so much going on right now, and there's so many things that people are covering that are like so interesting to me. Like I had heard the name Shanna Gardner before, or I think that. No, wait, that's not the name. Whatever case Mo is covering right now. I'd heard the name before, but I didn't actually know what the case is about. And she's streaming the trial, doing her Petty Express. Freaking A, man. I'm so glad I went in there and I was like, hey, everybody, I have no idea what this case is about. And she gave me a rundown on it in the chat. And I'm like, yep, thank God I'm not covering that case.
And Sarah, it's an absolute pleasure meeting you now for the first time. Instead of just typing, now I can actually speak to you. So that's a good thing. It's an absolute pleasure meeting you, madam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I messaged him and let him know that you were on.
I just love listening to your voice, by the way.
Who, me?
Yeah, you sound like the Grinch. You
It's
have
definitely not my voice she likes listening to. Let's be honest here.
No, wait a minute. It's probably because I got a sexy voice and I can change the type of level you can handle.
Does anybody know how to pronounce anything in regards to Creole and Louisiana people?
Wait, what?
Because I'm parish of this. I have no idea. I don't. That
Hands of power.
we'll go with that, and I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
I probably really sort of like massacred that name, but it sounds good when I say it. Oh yes.
Yeah, this was one of the
wow.
people that I found particularly egregious. Yeah, Alexis Nicole George, you lady need to like go take a long walk off a short pier. Because you are charged on or about June 22nd, 2023. Did violate statute 1493.3, cruelty to persons with infirmaries, by committing intentional or criminally negligent mistreatment or neglect, whereby unjustifiable pain, malnourishment, or suffering was caused to that person's initials, a person with an infirmity, an adult with a disability, or a person who is aged, including but not limited to a person who was a resident of a nursing home, facility for persons with intellectual disabilities, mental health facility, hospital, or other residential facility. Oh, yeah. Nope. There's no details, but like you ma'am can there is an information too. There is a count too. Abuse or neglect of adults.
Quick question for both of you. Is it me? Keep going 1 sec. I just need to do something. 1 second.
Okay. This is the second part. Count 1 is abuse of persons with infirmities through electronic means, and abuse and neglect of adults. By transferring an image that was obtained by any camera, videotape, or optical, photoelectric, or unmanned aircraft system. That's a broad. Or any other image or record. I guess they have to be broad because they can't leave anything for a loophole. However, just reading it, you kind of look at it like, yep, unmanned aerial device. Or any other
aerial.
Any other image recording device that was obtained for the purposes of observing, viewing, photography, or photographing, filming, or videotaping MY, a person that we know, that transferring the image by live or recorded telephone message, electronic mail, the internet, or a commercial online service, and transferring the image with malicious and willful intent to embarrass, shame, harass, coerce, abuse, torment, intimidate, regardless of whether the victim had knowledge of the transfer.
I'm going to make you keep reading because my brain needs to digest what you just read out.
Oh, it just wait for it. She's also being charged with abuse and neglect of adults by knowingly and willfully failing to report the abuse and neglect of MY when she was required to report pursuant to Louisiana Statute 1504A. I mean, yeah, sounds like a really, really crappy human being to me. Just a really, really crappy human being. No. Yeah, instead of using the word drone, they use a very complex sentence. Angel, what are you doing? You just like to push buttons. Should we call you the expert? Should we call you the expert, ma'am? It's thundering outside, so she's... Well, Taz, feel better. No, ma'am. We're not habitual button presser. She's messing with my stream deck. So if you hear or see random things, I apologize. Hey, Angel.
Okay, quick question.
Quick answer.
Going back to the first page, the first charge, can you just bring that back up again for a second, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you just call me ma'am? What the fuck?
Well, anyway, darlings, let's just start talking like this, shall I? And
Biatch. Start on me, squid.
I didn't do anything.
You called me mom. You went, yes, mom.
I mean, I can change my voice if you like. Does that sound okay to you?
No, I went Jamaican on you. It's yes, mom.
You're mom. You're Ivory mom. Right. Anyway, right. Let me just read this out loud so I can get a gist of it. On or about the June 22nd, 2023, Alexis Nicole George, defendant herein, did violate RS. We need to find out what that is. 1493 cruelty to person with infirmities by committing intentional or criminal negligence, mistreated or neglect, hereby justifying pain, a person with the infirmity, an adult with a disability, or the person who is age, including but not limited to the person who is resident. Right, can you scroll down to the next one, please?
There's nothing else.
Oh no, go back up then. No, up. There was something about.
This is it.
No, there was something about.
Do you want me to go to the other page?
Say again.
Do you want me to go to the second?
I think. Well, yeah, I think it was the second. Yeah, the second page. There was something about using a unmanned
recording to any recording device.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two different documents. They put it in the thing as two different documents.
Okay, because I want to have another look at that, because I recently did my my drone thing on my drone qualification.
Yeah.
And his right. Okay, sorry there. Electronic, right? Abuse of person. Electronic means by transferring an image that obtained by any camera, videotape, or photo optical or photo electronic unmanned aircraft systems or any other. I can't understand why they put unmanned aircraft systems in there, because unmanned aircraft covers everything from just like the small drones to big drones.
I'm sure they did it in the sense of the statute itself had to be broad to cover every type of way you can record somebody.
Right.
Like just.
Yeah, but unmanned aircraft, I just wanted to say this because I've still got fresh in my head. Unmanned aircraft, in regards if it's a drone or a blimp or whatever you want to call it, right, has different stipulations and rules and guidelines. So why they put that in there makes no sense to me.
Well, it's this part right here. It's however you filmed somebody that has a mental, cognitive, and they call it an infirmity here.
Yeah.
But
okay.
transferring
transferring
the image. Well, and here's the other part. Transferring the image with the malicious and willful intent to embarrass, shame, harass, coerce, abuse, torment, intimidate. That part.
Right. So here comes my devil's advocate argument on this one. Is why did they not, when it came to unmanned aircraft, because that's a broad freaking plate you're handing someone. They should have put the FAA and also the local and national and local laws that are stipulated in said, because it's a separate thing. So they should have added that.
I think it is. From a state level, I can see putting drones in the sense of you could have anybody can have a backyard drone. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take, you can go and buy one from for $30 on Amazon, and you can take a picture of someone. Maybe you can fly it over a fence and get them in their pool. And now you're, spreading this, or you can take it through their window and now you're spreading with intent to harass them. So from a state level, the statute is it's broad in the sense of how a individual would take a picture.
Right. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but all I'm saying is this. If you put a drone up, that's one thing. If you are using a drone or any type of unmanned aircraft system like a UAV or a drone, right, and you are premeditatingly using it to take video or fit pictures of an individual without their consent or permission, this is why I'm surprised they only just put unmanned aircraft system and that was it.
Not all drones here need to be registered with the FAA.
Really?
Certain sizes. Like anybody can buy a backyard drone. You can buy one off of Amazon for like $30. I don't need to register.
Or $5 from Temu. Yeah. Exactly.
And I don't need to register it with shit. So that's why. So.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm sure if that person was using a satellite device, it would fall under a whole different set of statutes. So, but and Unhung Hero, thank you for the $5 super chat. The only way to address Spawn is to misgender they and them.
Oh, in the fucking heart, Unhung. Oh, wow.
I love this chat as we all pick on each other and just laugh about it.
Oh my God. I mean, I thought Jeffrey was going to go at me but no, Unhung Hero got in front of you, Jeffrey. So you are slacking, man. And Sarah, just a quick one. Is that a picture or a screen behind you over your left shoulder?
This one or this one?
That one there, yeah. No, the first one. That one, yeah, that one.
This is my YouTube calendar. So anytime
oh my God, I thought
that somebody's YouTube, I kind of do artwork.
Yeah.
And create, the image, the thumbnail.
Yeah. That's a good idea, and you caught me. I thought that was a screen. That looks so cool.
And Snipe Hunter, can I say you have the cutest dog? Your picture, adorable. What a cutie pie.
And if you're interested in any artwork, I just got done with MG Law. And then if you watch Shizzy in the next, it takes usually about 1 to 3 weeks for shipping. So he should be getting that here in a couple weeks.
Nice. You're very talented.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's raining.
Oh, and Paul Amos, you can wind your neck in.
Malin's back, and Paul is here too.
No, but I tell you one thing. There seems to be so many cases coming up lately. I don't know if it's because I've been following what we usually discuss. With the what the hell. I don't know if it's because of that I'm starting to notice more cases, or it's because I hang around you guys and I just get dragged into all these cases, and it's very, very eye-opening.
It could be a little bit of both. More trials and more cases are being streamed. More people are reading documents and talking about them. So things are just getting more attention than they usually do. I'm going to probably do a trial on Restream. I still haven't done the freaking CNN trial from January. I still haven't finished the CNN Zach Young trial from January that I still need to do. And then there's the Georgia versus some douche canoe that's going on right now. It's in day 3 or day 4 right now that I want to do. I want to go back and watch because This dude unalived his wife, apparently, allegedly, so that he didn't have to pay a divorce settlement. But he's a former JAG officer who lives in Liberty County, Georgia, which is where Fort something is. Hinesville, Georgia is home of some naval or some army base. I just can't remember. I just can't remember which one right now. It's so weird. It's Nicholas Cassotis, wife dismemberment. Yeah. This is from 2022, but it's just going to trial now. He was a JAG in the U.S. Navy.
Can I just make a passing comment, because I've noticed a couple of comments that one thing I just want to make absolutely clear to everyone who likes to have a little joke on my account or on my, let me tell you something right now. I am loving the banter. I am really enjoying the atmosphere that we actually have. Right. So I really do appreciate everyone's joke, especially you, Jeffrey. But you need to watch out for Paul, because he's going to try to beat you for first place. So just so you know,
Jeffrey made a catch-up joke.
Oh God, did he?
Hinesville is next to Huntsville.
Do you know what? There should be a table of contenders, like who can come up with the best sheep joke.
That's the dad joke of the day.
Yeah. I mean, Roy will definitely be first or second place there somewhere. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? I think.
Well, and my thing is too, like, normal is overrated, and not giving each other crap is boring. Yeah. Like, if we don't give each other crap, if I don't give you crap or joke around with you, it means I don't like you. If I'm just like, hi, like, if I just say hi to you, it either means that I don't know you, I don't like you, or I'm busy. Like,
yeah, but 99% of the time when you have a dig at me, I just ignore you. But I just go, yeah. Yeah.
Because I have the ultimate trump card.
Oh, no pun intended. Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, you have got the trump card. That's not fair. See what
I know, cute, ain't she?
You see that, Sarah? You see what I have to deal with? You see the
but when I do some collabing with you, I'm gonna do the hair. We're gonna have some fun.
Oh boy, why am I worried? I mean, it's like to be perfectly honest with you, I am only now sort of like venturing out of, either being on here or being on my own or being with my pretty. So for me to actually start, how can I put it? Started to branch out. It's, I'm not. Nope.
I'm just gonna leave that one right here.
Yeah, no, no. Yeah. I'm trying to be as polite as I possibly can, guys. For fuck's sake, really? Oops,
Oh my goodness!
Oh my God! It's like last night, everyone tried to, but I see you, baby squeeze. I see you.
I don't look fun.
Yes.
Oh, Jeffrey started it. He said, "I got the joke. Did you?"
He said, "Ooh."
Malin, Spawn Trooper, even Baby Squid is having to go at you.
All right, okay. Now you're crossing the line there, madam. Now you're crossing the line there. Do not involve Baby Squid. She's an angel. Damn you. Well, I order.
All right. Since we've derailed ourselves, but fun derail, we're going to get back to a couple more of these cases that are worth paying attention to. Because a lot of these things are like, just can't. You ever get stuff and you're like, you just want to take these people and like, what look at them and go, what the hell is wrong with you? Like,
yeah, but the question I've got, like, this is what with the cases, like you're saying with all these cases. Now, the case that I sent you in regards of this gag order and everything else, it just amazes me that like a judge who convicted a PDF file or a former chief who was doing, convicted him on 40 plus crimes, and then he didn't even get like a tag or anything else. And obviously, yeah, but anyway, you know what?
okay. Oh,
Born mom? What? No, unhung hero. Please don't you start that as well. No.
hey,
Madam.
Unhung Hero, you message me and you let me know what's going on with you and stuff, and in regards to what we talked about earlier today, because I'm getting antsy here. All right, so you either got to get up or down. Mommy is not a slide. I'm not a slide. I'm not a slide. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So this one, criminal complaint, we are not going to go through this whole thing, but this is one case that I will be paying attention to just because it is Wisconsin. And it is my home county. It is where I was born and where I graduated from high school. Wisconsin DOJ, pursuant to its authority under that statute, filed this criminal complaint against Dr. Niraj Agarwal. Fraud by greater than $100,000. December 2020 and November 2023 in the village of Menominee Falls. That's where I was born. Did obtain title to property of another person by intentionally deceiving the person with false representation, which is known to be false, made with intent to defraud, which did defraud the person to who was made that in a value that exceeded $100,000. And I have to interrupt this because I have to read the super chat. Thanks for the $2 super chat. You didn't have to super chat this. Squid is alluding to me becoming a dad next year.
Well, congratulations on that, but didn't you say you want me to call you mom, Unhung Hero?
No, that would be his lovely fiance.
Well, congratulations. On a serious note, congratulations, fella.
So now both Unhung Hero and Duncan Idaho, two of my OGs, two of my favorite people in the world, two of the people who have supported this channel from practically day one, are going to be dads. Almost around the same time, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they're not related, are they?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. Not as far as I'm aware of. It's a happy coincidence. But it was. Thank you, Unhung Hero, for telling everybody so that I can not have to keep that secret anymore.
Oh, I am so tempted with Jeffrey. I am so tempted. Anyway, can we carry on with the court case, please? Thank you.
I've kept that secret. I didn't even tell Spawn. I didn't even tell 8. I didn't even tell Mr. Squid. I didn't even tell Baby Squid. Like, I didn't tell nobody. I didn't even tell my mom. Like, that one. Stop opening my Stream Deck app. Like, stop opening my Stream Deck app.
Mally, you want them.
I was telling my channel the other day that I was having dreams about some family members having kids. So it's funny because my family members watch my channel. So I know that I've scared them.
I'm sure nobody besides my parents watch my channel.
Can someone post Living's link, please? Because I can't understand why I haven't got any notifications from you when you've gone live. And I'm sure that I subscribed quite a while back because I was introduced.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think YouTube is being an asshole.
YouTube is YouTube. We all know that.
Right, brilliant. Thank you, Heidi.
Thanks, Heidi. Roy says, okay, I need to run from Squid before her fertility curse avoids me. My sister-in-law is also expecting, so.
Yeah, I'm subscribed. I don't get what the hell, and I've got the bell fully. Fucking YouTube and flash.
I'm random, so it's probably past your bedtime when I.
Oh, don't you? Oh, right. Why don't you kick me in the jaw while I'm down? I mean. Oh, wow.
No, 1776.
I'm getting it from both sides. I'm getting it from the host and the co-host and from the crowd. So
see, I told you I can.
I'll just sit here.
Yeah, definitely having like I have a notes app with like streamer, it's titled streamer links, and I have mine at the top and then everybody who I'm modded for or whoever came on my channel. So it's just a matter of like searching, like trying to find people. But other than that, I have to update it, obviously, but you know, having lists help. This is
Jeffrey, thank you.
A criminal complaint that we're gonna skip through this quickly. I might record a video where I actually go a little bit more in depth on who this dude is. Specifically, defendant submitted false claims for reimbursement to the Wisconsin Medical Assistance Program, which claims did not include claims alleged in counts 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 16, and 17. That's a lot of counts. Upon conviction for this offense, a Class F felony, defendant may be fined not more than $25,000 or imprisoned not more than 12 years and 6 months, or both. Count 2 is theft between $10,000 and $100,000. Once again, December 20th or 2020 and April 2023. Let's see. Submitted false claims to reimbursement from the medical assistance program for related to counseling services purportedly provided to Child 1 and Child 2. Children. Upon conviction for this offense, Class G felony, defendant may be fined not more than $25,000 or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. I have a feeling that he's gonna be in, if all this is true, he's gonna be in prison for a long time. As I don't see a lot of this being, he can be fined more than $25,000, but maximum sentences for these things are 10, 12 years. Yeah.
I mean, it's really strange. I'll be honest with you. It's really strange with you talking about all these cases and that. And it is opening my eyes to, I've never, ever, well, I've come across some really serious crimes and stuff like that in my past. But some of the stuff that's coming out that you guys talk about, it's absolutely gobsmacking that people actually do this crap.
Well, and I always we've talked about certain things too, that a lot of these things are are made public. So it's not that the crazy doesn't happen in other places. It's just the crazy is public here.
Yeah.
So the crazy might happen not just as much, because we have 350 million people. So we're, the odds of us having a crazy person is, and with everybody having phones, crazy goes on the internet. But our crazy is also public.
Yeah. I just think that like I've been saying in the past, I think that the pandemic, because I just think it changed the dynamics, the chemical dynamics of the human populace, and people are just really acting out of character. I've seen some people who have acted out of character, and
Yeah, and here's count 3 is theft by fraud, witness 2, child 3 and 4. Yeah, Jeffrey, we put it in the shop windows for all to see. Theft by fraud, count 4. Theft by fraud between $5,000 and $10,000, count 5. Count 6, medical assistance fraud.
What's the class G felony?
I think it's one of the lower level felonies. So Wisconsin has a bunch of felony levels. So like you might be a felon, but a class A felony is like unaliving someone. Versus a class H felony is like fraud. Still a felony, but like the level of felon is just a little, generally a non. I don't know what they use to determine what's what, but there's your higher level of felony that's like a crime and a violence and severity. Yes, severity. Thank you. Sometimes I'm like thinking of these words, they just don't rise up to the surface. Yeah, I still wish that federal court should be open. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that I focus a lot of my time on federal, because of the fact that, one, not a lot of people focus on them because you have to pay for the documents, and 2, not a lot of people pay attention to them because nobody knows about them because it's all private. So if we can open our eyes to cases that are filed in federal court and at least look at the documents, at least we have some sort of transparency. Just
okay, I found it.
My flying.
Class G felony in Wisconsin. Felonies are punishable up to 10 years in state prison, maximum fine of 25 or both. Second offense, strangulation offense. Secondary reckless endangerment, homicide, possession of firearm, theft, property, endangerment, safety, possession of cocaine, marijuana. Wow. Holy snappicus, mackimus, dickimus.
Yeah.
I'm just sending you now, Squid, what I found.
Okay. Quick Wisconsin felony classes, a quick guide, 2025.
Told you I'm a good researcher.
Yeah. I mean, I could have looked it up too. I just, didn't. But this will be our last case that we'll go through because I have stuff to do before I got to go to work tonight. So, state of Wisconsin. There we go. So count 6, medical assistance fraud. Count 7, theft by fraud between $2,500 and $5,000. This is all in the same village, the same county. Like, this is all Waukesha. This is Darrell Brooks territory. If you don't know where Waukesha County is, this is Darrell Brooks. Although Menominee Falls is on the county line in the northern part of I can't remember the county above Waukesha County at this point, but this is my home county. This is yep. This is my home county. Yep. Count 9, theft by fraud. It's a lot of fraud, a lot of theft, a lot of fraud. Which is still bad, but like I'm glad it's not physical so far. There's nothing like physical towards children. Because that when I saw children, that was the first thing that I was worried about.
Is this all based on him committing fraud with the medical insurance or something?
Yeah.
Right, got you.
So, medical assistance fraud, count 11, count 12, theft by fraud. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Counseling services. It sounds like he is a psychiatrist, is what it sounds like. Pediatrician or childhood psychiatrist. Because counseling services purportedly provided to child 12 and 13. So it's like he was billed for services that he never gave. Count 13 is theft by fraud. And a lot of this first paragraph is literally the same thing over and over again. Just the dates are changing and the last sentence is changing. Purportedly provided to child 14 and 15. Medical assistance fraud. False claims for reimbursement related to counseling services provided to witness 9. Theft by fraud less than $2,500. Provided to child 16. That's a misdemeanor. Count 16, theft by fraud. Counseling services purportedly provided to witness 11. That's a lot of people. Count 17, theft by fraud between $10,000 and $100,000. That counseling services purportedly provided to child 17, 18, and 19. Oh, like hey dude. Sorry, every time I say that, I think Beatles. Facts constituting the charged offenses. This is an investigator with the Department of Justice, Medicaid Fraud and Elder Abuse Unit, and investigates and prosecutes civil and criminal offenses related to Medicaid providers, Medicaid recipients, and facilities that receive Medicaid funding. Doctor and Medicaid fraud. Oh, shocker. Background, licensed professional counselor who runs his own practice, which focuses on part on providing psychotherapy to Medicaid members. Many of his patients are children with issues related to depression, anxiety, ADHD. He has been licensed in Wisconsin since 1999, having licensed through Department of Safety and Professional Services, a substance abuse counselor, and a licensed professional counselor. Medicaid, which is referred to Wisconsin Medical Assistance Program, is a joint federal and state program that provides medical coverage to indigent Wisconsin residents. It is administered by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. All right, this goes into the requirements, which if you want to read it, I will post it in Discord. I don't really think we need to go into, all of this. Hey, AT1, have you distributed a wash today? I have not, but I did get 50 feet of flight line and the keys to the plane. CPT codes for psychotherapy. These don't mean anything to anybody other than Freckled Ginger. These are individual psychotherapy sessions that last 35, 40 minutes, or 60. To bill under these codes, the patient must be present for all or the majority of the service. And it was like I was talking at the beginning. For me, they had to be present for the majority. So say if I was billing 60, they had to be present for at least 53. Or I had to be doing something for them.
Okay.
53 minutes. What's up?
No, I was just thinking, like when it comes to, psychotherapy, when you talk to your psychologist or to a professional, that is absolutely under HIPAA. That is patient doctor confidentiality, and I'm surprised they're putting the codes in here.
Well, the codes don't mean it's this codes for psychotherapy. It doesn't say like what the CPT.
Oh, is this just an example of like, okay?
Yeah, this is
right,
the CPT
okay.
codes don't actually. The CPT codes don't actually are not HIPAA covered because it's just what you're billing for, not what you did, and not what the person has that you're billing for. Psychotherapy could be used for someone from depression to bipolar. It's not necessarily telling a coder, a medical billing and coding specialist, what the person has. Just like when I bill for, say I bill for neuro re-ed, yeah, I'm billing 2 units of neuro re-education, but it's not telling the person that's looking at that CPT code what the person's diagnosis is. It's not.
No. I just because I just read that. Yep. I'll shut up. It makes all sense now because those codes indicate the lengths of
Yep.
Treatment.
Yeah.
And also a lot of codes indicate what the overview of the treatment is. And like, for example, a neuro re-education, say if I was doing neuro re-ed with a stroke patient trying to get their arm to move, technically it's therapeutic exercise, but because it's neuro re-education bills at a higher rate than TheraAct, because therapeutic activity could be anything from like picking this up, like, taking a half a pound weight and doing this, or, writing their name, but I'm actually using neural input, trying to get their arm to move where they have no function. That takes a little more skill. Technically, it would fall under therapeutic activity, but neuro re-ed is a little more skilled and pays a little bit more. So you when you're doing neuro re-ed, you want to bill for neuro re-education. So different CPT codes mean different things. They would mean a lot to Freckle Ginger. She would know what they mean. I used to know what I billed for, and outside of what personally I used and were related to me, I have no idea what all CPT codes are. All right. But these, for example, 98 or 90832, it's a code for a 30-minute one-on-one session. Hence, a provider cannot use this code unless the patient's there for at least 16 minutes. Dr. Agarwal's knowledge of appropriate use of CPT codes on or about June 4th, 2020. Before the alleged course of conduct, Agarwal received a certified letter from the Children's Community Health Plan. CCHP is a program within Medicaid. Here, you told us that you knew how to bill for these codes. So you can't use the excuse, well, I didn't know. This letter informed Dr. Agarwal that an audit of his reimbursement claims found that he was using code 90837 significantly more than his peers. In fact, he used 90837 for 97.26% of his reimbursement claims from 2018 through March of 2020. That doesn't seem logical.
Yeah.
You don't have hour sessions all the time. Like, it's just, while his peers only use that code 41.94% of the time. Importantly, the 6-page letter instructed Dr. Agarwal that there are 3 CPT codes available for individual psychotherapy, these 3 codes. And then that footnote tells you where to look. We don't care. The letter explained that those codes are for sessions with /30, 45, and 60, respectively. The letter included recommendations on how to ensure using the codes correctly and an explanation of the appropriate lengths of time associated with each code. The letter emphasized that 90834 should be used when you spend between 38 and 52 minutes in therapy, not for any session over 30 minutes.
Jeez.
That's strange that they've gone 38 to 52 minutes in therapy.
Well,
sorry.
For rehab, I can't bill even one unit unless I'm with the patient 8 minutes. So 8 to 16 or 15 minutes is 1 unit. 16 to 22 is 2 units. 23 to 37 is 3 units. And 38 to 50. No, that's wrong. 8 to 22 is 1 unit. 23 to 37 is another. 38 to 53 or 52 is 3 units. And 53 to 68 is 4 units. So it's all about how Medicare lays out how their billing codes. So for us, it was they have it's 8 to 22 minutes is 1 unit. So it seems weird, but it's healthcare wide. And that's just how the code, the medical coding is written. And it's a reason why medical billing is so damn complicated.
Complicated and annoying.
It's one of the many reasons that there's people who specifically go to school for medical coding and billing. And I did not. Because I know how to bill for my individual stuff, but anything 68 to 80, 86 minutes is 5 units. I don't know. I barely hit 5 units with most of my patients. So I don't.
With me, it's 15 to 45 minutes. Anything after that is kind of considered therapeutic outside of.
For us, 38 to 52 was 3 units, and that was my average treatment time on acute care. And then that's why I had to be with my patients at least 53 minutes to bill for 4 units.
On my course, the counselor's course I did last year, we were instructed like the minimum of 45 minutes because you have to obviously, relax, settle down, make sure that they feel safe, you feel safe, they're relaxed, I'm relaxed, and so 45 minutes minimum. So, but that, if you and a client are in a session, if you're going to concentrate on time instead of actually listening to your client, I can see where, if I was in there for say 38, if I was in there for 45 minutes, what would I put the code down? Would I put it down for half an hour or would I put it down for 45 minutes?
45 minutes.
Makes sense. Carry on as you were.
And that's why a lot of people set timers.
Well, I'm surprised he doesn't do it. Well, I don't know if he does it or not.
He probably did. That's why it's fraud, because you're doing something wrong and you're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
There's a difference between making a mistake, being told that you're making a mistake, and then correcting your mistake. And then
obviously he wasn't that intelligent enough to, So.
Yep. And then it talks about his, most of his appointments were from telehealth because obviously this was the time where, The letter also stated that Agarwal's billing practices resulted in an overpayment of $34,623.33. He subsequently wrote several checks to reimburse Medicaid for the full amount. So he did admit that he was making mistakes, and this is where it should have ended. Okay, you made mistakes. We called you out. We're not filing charges because sometimes when you're audited, people make mistakes. Pay back the money you owe us, and everything is good. And then, and pretty much, Heidi has a good point. You move it up or down by 15-minute increments for billing, depending on what part of the hour the appointment ends. And that's pretty much how we did it too. It was just, it got technical when it was like, okay, now I need to type. How am I going to work in my typing into this hour-long session that we're supposed to have? You make sure you get all your minutes that you're required to get for an inpatient rehab program, and I get time to type, and I'm not frauding your insurance company. It's a very like fine line that you ride some days, especially when you're behind on documentation.
I mean, but by him looking at that, the statement from the guy who interviewed him, looking by the last sentence about him writing several checks to reimburse Medicaid, I mean, that's admittance to guilt already.
Yeah. But that's like, okay, I screwed up, because everybody makes mistakes. Like, nobody's perfect. People make mistakes. And it's when you can go, oh shit, I made a mistake. Here's the money I owe you. I made a mistake. And then not doing it again. And what it sounds like is he made a mistake. He admitted that he made a mistake. And it could have been a mistake that it could have been a mistake that he didn't mean to make, or it could have been a mistake that he intentionally made and was frauding the government and got caught. Either one is an option.
Yeah. Or or was it like, once the client left, he carried on filling out the paperwork and considered that part of the session?
That's true too. And you can do that up to a certain point. Like we did that, like if 53 to 60 minutes, if I spent over 53 minutes doing patient-centered activities, if I was with the patient, if I was working on a home exercise program, working on filling out paperwork to get them a walker or a wheelchair, or, I didn't do that, PT did that, but just in general, or I was working on looking up information for DME that they might be doing, or scheduling a home visit, or doing a family call to schedule a time for family training. That would still be patient time that I can bill for, because I'm actively doing stuff in or you know what I mean? Like you know what I'm trying to say, Sarah?
Yeah.
I'm actively putting the patient's needs and doing things that might not be with the patient, but I still need to get done for the patient, like calling, different home medical companies or their family member to try to get them in here. But that would still be acceptable billing practice. But if that goes over 53 minutes, then that 6 minutes I can use for documentation.
Yeah. I mean, any client reference interaction, even if you're contacting the client or the family member, or you're talking to, a colleague who's transferring a patient to you, that's all part and parcel of
But that's also where your documentation has to be.
Yeah. And that's why I mentioned about he has to do the paperwork for it and everything else. Now I don't know about over there or over here that much, but when you're doing paperwork, that is part and parcel of the client treatment.
Yep.
You're actively working instead of eating bonbons. Hey, Wednesday's life.
Eating bonbons.
All right. Fraud schemes. My investigation revealed that after the audit, he did not reform his billing practice and continued inflating his reimbursement from Medicaid through several means. Two primary means were upcoding psychotherapy sessions, which lasted less than 16 minutes, and 2, billing for psychotherapy sessions that never took place.
Oh.
Yeah, like your client cancels and you're still billing them for. As to count 1, this is going to go into each count.
Here's a technical bombshell. What if a client if you got a client comes in, you're just talking to them for 10, 15 minutes, and then the client says, I can't do this, and then gets up and walks out.
You can bill for the time that they were there. If it's less than 16 minutes, sucks to be you.
Yeah.
You got to eat that time.
Okay.
Which for a doctor, all it means is less money. For me, it meant productivity. I had to bill, if I was there for 9-hour day, that was 36 units. You got to think of 15-minute increments, roughly. I had to bill to where I was on acute care, 75% productive. I can't remember exactly how many units that were. It's been 5 years. It was August of 2020 that I quit. So it was about this time in 2020 where I said, bye, I'm moving. So.
Oh, sorry, I just read ahead. Shut up.
So I'm not going to go into each count. It goes into his investigation of how to count one, going back to count one, what he was doing. And it goes into each, who he spoke to, child 3 and 4, the parents, Medicaid reimbursed 19.
What was the footnote on that first? Go back up. What was that? Sorry to interrupt. What was that footnote? Go back up. It said something about 15 minutes.
In other words, CPT codes counts for 30 minutes, or that code 832 is 30 minutes and 834 is 45. More specifically, Dr. Agarwal said he entered the CPT codes and patient information to his Google Calendar, which they then submits to eBix, his claim and billing system, which then sends out his claims for reimbursement to DHS. Basically, he was pretty much saying that his computer system was doing the fucking up, not him. I mean, that's what I got. That's what I gathered from that, right?
Yeah. I thought I clocked that. I was like, oh, I just saw something.
Like,
I mean, like,
he billed Medicaid for more than 24 hours of work in a day over 100 times, which means the only way to do that is if he was doing concurrent treatment, which are not, for psychotherapy, are not appropriate unless it's a family therapy session. You say you have two different clients. You have client A and client B who are related, say they're brothers, and all of a sudden, and you want to do a family treatment session, you could concurrently see them and bill both of them at the same time. But there's a way to do that.
On the same insurance.
Yeah, but and you would bill it as a concurrent treatment, and there's a way to do it, and I'm sure his billing system has a way to do it that's legal. Because we had a way to do it where we could see, we had group sessions. Like we had a discharge planning group. So we would get a bunch of people together twice a week and do a discharge planning group. And those people would all be billed at the same time for an hour of therapy. But it was like 10 people all billed for an hour of therapy by one therapist. There's a way to do it where it's not fraud because it was a group, but you'd have to do it appropriately, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't doing it appropriately.
Right. Here's the question I've got. Now, if he was doing this from 2018 to the beginning of the pandemic, and then when the pandemic's I mean, is there anything in this case where it shows an increase of him abusing the system, or is this now over the period between 2018 and 2020?
Each charge went into what dates. So each charge was a different set of dates.
Right.
So I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, because I mean, like if it was over the pandemic, I can understand because obviously, you're communicating telephonically or like over Zoom or Skype or something like that, or but before the pandemic, it would be face-to-face consultation. So I'm just asking, like, if this is between 2018 and 2020, then makes no sense, and there's something afoot there. But if it's 2020 to after pandemic until now, that I can understand.
It's before and during.
Oh,
Every charge has different sets of dates. This is where it's like 21 to
Oh.
24, 2020, December 2020 to December 2023, because every charge is different dates, and every charge is different people.
Oh, snap. All right. Okay. Thank you. I'm up to speed now.
So it's like every little bit is different. Like this is 2021 to 2022. This is September 2021 to June 2022. Like this is December 2020, February 2022. This is December 2020 to January 2024. Like it's everything is a little different based on the people and what they were getting. But count one was in total, Agarwal billed Medicaid $2,699,535, and Medicaid paid him $1,297,363.04. Yep. In interviewing all those people, appointments with Dr. Agarwal usually lasted less than 16 minutes. Following the start of the pandemic, he would commonly see 30 patients a day for sessions lasting 10 to 15 minutes. Again, Medicaid will not reimburse any individual psychotherapy session that lasts less than 16 minutes. So Dr. Agarwal's admission, which was corroborated by the patients that I interviewed, indicates that all or the vast majority of his reimbursement requests were fraudulent. I mean, and it goes into the math of, here, while 16 minutes is the bare minimum for billable therapy, I did not consider fraudulent any phone call over 15 minutes to account for situations where the session was close to being billable, e.g. a call lasting 15 minutes and 30 seconds. So this hypothetical is aimed at addressing situations where a household had more than one member who was a patient of Dr. Agarwal's. Conceivably, one patient could have one-on-one session with Agarwal, then pass the phone to someone else to have their session. The phone records would only show one phone call, but the two sessions would be billable if they were sufficient length. This hypothetical gives credit for two CPT code 90832 therapy sessions for any phone call longer than 15 minutes. I mean, and it goes into each the numbers, like 102,414.08. Like, it's just, it sounds bad. That's all count one. Count two was billing records indicated he provided 13,185 minutes of individual psychotherapy to child 1 and child 2 combined. His phone records only show calls totaling 220.9 minutes. Count three. And it goes into each count. And I will post this on the Discord because this is a lot to go into.
Yeah, this is like 30 pages.
Like,
oh, so they also add the amounts that he was reimbursed by Medicaid. That makes it really easy to follow now.
Hold
300 claims submitted for reimbursement, total 7,000. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'll keep it there. 3 through 7 and 590 and yeah. No, that's wrong.
He did phone calls, so some of his treatments were phone calls. You want that? Can I have it? Can I have it? We're almost done here, and then we'll go and play, okay? Because we got laundry to fold. Yeah. Okay.
So basically, on average, of the 7,590 minutes that he spent with individuals with the counseling claimed, he spent on average of 24.4 minutes per client.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, so because of what I've done, I've actually I divided it. So yeah, so you're looking at about 24-25 minutes per client, and according to the 9 calls to the family lesson, it's a total of 23 point. Oh, what was that? Divided through.
Thank you, Heidi. I could not remember ICD-10. That's what I could not remember. I kept thinking ID10T, and obviously that's not it.
Oh.
But those are what the codes made me feel like. So they have the easiest federal crime to convict is use phone in furtherance of his fraud. This is state court. This is Wisconsin. This is Medicaid. Most of the Medicaid is state level. Because Medicaid it is still managed by CMS at the federal level, but most of the funds are distributed by the states. Therefore, fraud becomes a state issue. As far as
how can you talk to someone for 2.5 minutes?
When I was in the psych ward when all my F&D started, that's what happened. I talked to the doctor, and then he was like, can't, do microdoses. And I walked out. 2 minutes. My life changed in 2 minutes.
And AT1, technically, it wouldn't be fraud. There's a difference between fraud, like a wire fraud, and using your phone, and you're providing a treatment. You're doing a phone therapy session. It's not. It's different. It's different. It's not the same. He used a phone and it's not. I don't know exactly how to explain it. You'd have to talk to a lawyer, but it's not the same because of the fact that it's not like wire fraud. He didn't use the phone to bill. He used the phone to provide the services. It's hard to explain. He provided a phone service. Like I get instead of doing a FaceTime call or like a WebEx meeting or a Zoom call, you're doing a phone call. A lot of the times when my internet sucked, I would end up having to call and talk to my people on the phone. You ever try to do art therapy on the phone? It's kind of weird. Kind of weird.
All right, wind your neck in, Jeffrey. Enough's enough now.
All right. We're almost done with this. So it goes into each one. Basically, he's screwed them out of a lot of money. And he billed the state. So once again, it's not a federal crime because he's billing the state. Wisconsin Medical Assistance Program. He's billing Wisconsin's Medicaid. So it's a state issue. So I will post this so y'all can look at it. But the little one is getting antsy, and I have to get going. I just need to make sure I save this to the right spot. YouTube channel, medical fraud.
You know, it's amazing. Like when like this, a lot of this stuff doesn't end up on the news, but
Yeah,
you
you didn't
imagine?
hear about any of this on the news, or at least I didn't.
Yeah, can you imagine this turning up on the news? How many people would then start asking questions?
I randomly saw this when I was on the DOJ's website
I
and
mean,
looking for something
it
else.
just amazes me that the media doesn't pick up on these things and actually like puts it in the headlines. You know, doctor charged with multiple fraud charges under Medicaid.
AT1, it's technically not wire fraud because all medical billing is done electronically. So it's technically
That's
not
wire
wire
fraud?
fraud.
Oh, wire fraud, sorry.
It's technically not wire fraud. It's because of the fact that now all medical billing is done. There's no such thing as filing of like, there's no such thing as like billing someone the old fashioned way. There is no old fashioned way anymore. Everything is electronic, and everybody has electronic health records, and it's all electronic. So it's not, I see where you're going, but it's not, it's the medical system. It's completely different. It's confusing, but there's a reason it's not wire fraud, is because it's the medical system, and the medical system is a whole new, oh good Lord. I was still working when they went from the DSM-4 to the DSM-5, and now they're in the DSM-5 TR. So that debacle, and trying to figure out all of that.
I mean,
so I can't imagine. Yeah. Why would the media report on fraud that DOJ found when they hate Musk and Orange Man? Like,
Squid, quick question: is this 14.6 billion a year? Or
no, this was all the cases that they've filed and are accusing people of add up to 14.6 billion. So all of these cases, all of these cases add up to 14.6 billion.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that can go into supporting veterans or homeless families or single mothers or single fathers.
That's a lot of money that could go into the healthcare system, that people could actually get the services that they need.
That's what I say. Ritually, physically, throw the book at them.
Like these are all services that like this could keep our healthcare from being so damn expensive. Because if this wasn't going on,
have you muted your mic?
I haven't. Nope. Oh no, there might be a DSM-6.
Oh my God.
No. Fuck that shit. Can you hear me now, Spawn?
It's Spawn.
It's Spawn. Okay. But on that note, I do have to get going. It is after 3 o'clock. We've been here almost 3 hours. I've enjoyed having you guys here to discuss this, because this is an important topic. This is a very, very important topic.
Yeah.
Like, and this is something that you might hear, oh yeah, there's Medicare fraud, or you've heard it, like people saying, but then you've also heard the people who will never admit that there's Medicaid fraud or any sort of fraud going on, that none of this exists. We proved right here that it did exist. And a lot of these people have, some of these people have settled. So if they've settled, that they're admitting fault.
What the fuck?
So that's a lot. But so I will be keeping an eye on some of these cases. I have to go to my pacer and figure out where some of these that are worth it, and some of the state cases I will be keeping an eye on too. What's interesting to me is that there's not a lot of, so the state cases, there's no Florida. There's no Florida state cases. Because that's what I was looking for at first, because those are the easiest documents to get. And there's a lot of Indiana, Illinois, California,
Michigan,
and Missouri, and New York, and Ohio. So
I'm
that's
gonna-
but y'all, we've had a great. Hi, what you got there, baby?
What the hell? One second, I've got a problem with my sound.
We have 30 likes, and then considering we only have 13 people here right now, I'd say that's pretty good odds. I don't know. So we will see who's live right now. Redirect. Nick Starro is going through the Delphi transcripts. We're gonna go redirect over to Nick Starro. Y'all tell him I said hi. I have to head on out.
Alrighty.
Spawn, you good? Or Spawn, stick around after the stream and you're add one. You were delinquent. AT1, AT1, AT1. Woo! She's pushing out my desk drawers from the other side. Like she's literally pushing out my desk drawers. Like, girl, you're so silly. All right, so we have 31 likes.
Yeah.
32. Somebody else was delinquent too. All right. Y'all have a great day. Spawn, if you stick around, we'll try to work out your audio issues after the stream. Whoop, never mind. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you tomorrow for Wednesdays with Spawn. And if there's any What the Hales update, a What the Hales update.